Good evening. Okay, it's really morning. I wanted to talk to you about superstition. But superstition from Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is rich in superstition in its history, in modern times. If you ever have a chance, check out the book Blue Nose Ghosts, which is about ghosts and superstitions in Nova Scotia. So the other night I was teaching a class and we were talking about superstitions in Korea, and of course the kids were like, what about where you're from? What are some of your superstitions? I don't know if you've ever heard of a forerunner. A forerunner is a supernatural event that it kind of tells you a bit about the future, but it's usually bad, like someone died, someone got hurt. For example, fireplaces, the old ones, they had the mantle over the top. People would put pictures there or hang them on the wall around it. Well, one type of forerunner is if a picture falls and the glass in the frame does not break, it means someone in that picture got hurt. If the picture falls and the glass breaks, someone in that picture is supposed to have died. Tapping, you hear from inside the wall, or well, let's say here, the wall in front of me. Unless someone is Spider-Man, there's no way someone could be knocking on that wall. So if you hear 3 knocks, it means someone you know has just died. Those are examples of forerunners. Animals can, like dogs freaking out or a horse freaking out. Horses and dogs, they say, are very sensitive to the supernatural. I can remember actually had a bit of an experience with a forerunner. It was back in, oh God, Dad was alive, so it would have been probably about 86. Yeah, it would have been 86. Anyways, my grandfather, my mother's stepfather, was in the hospital. They found cancer in him. He had been in for a week. They were going to start treatment. And my mother and my grandmother were off at the hospital. So my father was upstairs, and 2 of our dogs, we had 3, were up there with him. I was down in the basement. I had some friends over, and one of the dogs was down with me. And all of a sudden, the dogs just start howling. For about a minute, they didn't stop. And I mean, we're freaking out. We're running upstairs. We're outside. What in the hell's going on? There's no one out on the street. There's no dogs barking. No one's baying at the moon. Wasn't a full moon. I mean, we just couldn't find any reason for why they did that. And they stopped, like I said, for almost a minute, and then boom, they stopped. So things settled back down, you know. It was like, okay, that was a fluke. Maybe one of them started for some reason and the other 2 followed. So about 20 minutes later, the phone rings. It's my mother. My grandfather had died. When the dog started howling is when he died. Ooh. Years later, when my mother's mother died, the same thing happened. I wasn't home at the time, and there were only 2 dogs, but they started howling. And the next, 6 hours later, 7 hours later, Mom got a phone call from her brother that their mother had died and when. And this happened the other side of Canada. They were in Alberta, and they were in Nova Scotia. My mom was in Nova Scotia when that happened. So yeah, I do kind of believe in the supernatural and forerunners a bit. I believe in ghosts. I saw one once. But I'll end that here, and maybe I'll try to find some more Nova Scotia superstitions to talk about sometime. Feel free to share yours. If you share your ghost stories, I might share mine. Have a good day.